Yes, big up, people. Welcome back to the channel. 12th Man is back. Race for Europe is back. If you didn't do so last night, go check out This Is London, an unbelievable pod yet again. Great show, superb controversy and great debate. And I hope we can replicate that this evening. Big up to Errol, big up to Dan, big up to Deji, big up to Pete. We'll get LB on his way as well. And you know what? I don't really know where to start on either club. So we're going to do it together, people. Before we do that, make sure you have signed up for the event on Friday night. We've got the Hippodrome Casino live. Scan the QR code top left or click the link in the pin comment or in the description and you can sign up. We've got Deji, we've got Don, we've got judges in the house. We've got myself, Lawless and D. Let's get there, people. It'd be great to see as many of you there as possible on Friday. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description and it's got all that you need. So hopefully we'll see you all there. Make sure you do us a favor and big up to Reality Raffles as well, our sponsors. They've got unbelievable opportunities to go and get some tickets to the football stadium of your choice. So please make sure you are following Reality Raffles. They're going to be having another prize for me to promote very, very soon as well, so we can get the specific prizes out as well. Let's ask the question.
And who is Dusty? Are we recording it as well, Dan? Because I know a lot of people have been asking. Are we recording?
Yes, we are recording. We are recording Friday, so it'll be out. It'll be out as well. Absolutely. Who is dustier, Manchester United or Tottenham? And I don't really think it's fair to ask Dan and Deji because obviously they're going to be completely biased. But Errol, let me start with you, my bro, because these two clubs, we're going to do them together because I don't know where to start on Manchester United. I don't know where to start on Tottenham. I feel like I'm saying the same stuff, which is I can't believe Ange is still there because he's a bozo. And I can't really believe how dusty Manchester United's squad is when it's been spent billions and billions of pounds on it. Amorim even believes it's crap now, which is fair play to him, by the way. That was quality.
That's rich.
Absolute legend.
That's rich coming from Arsenal. Not winning anything.
We are dusty, but my goodness. I thought we were dusty, but wow, you guys sitting down trying to have some mid-off with Spurs and West Ham and Palace down in 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th. My goodness, what is happening? I was told Tottenham were coming third by Deji, and I was told that Manchester United under this new structure and Ineos would be fantastic. So I get a lot of heat on Tuesdays on the terrace. So does LB, Man United fans. Oh, you just hate on Arsenal. You hate on Man United because you're Arsenal. That's all I get. My goodness, what an absolute mess of a couple of clubs that we're seeing here. I mean, everyone's pretty crap at the moment, but dear me, you two actually are taking the biscuit, your clubs. It's actually crazy. Errol, talk to me, man. What's happening at these two dusty clubs?
I don't know. You know, that's a very, very good question. And I feel as though, especially where Manchester United is concerned, I feel sorry for Amorim, if I'm being completely honest with you, because he left what was almost not nailed on, but there was a very strong likelihood that he would go on to win the Portuguese title this year and end that season on a high, kind of give the fans that final farewell, and then start the project by being able to, and again, kind of clearing the house, getting who he wanted in the summer, having a little bit of time to work with them, and then getting a fresh start. What's actually happened is they kind of strong-armed them into saying, you've got to come now. This is the opportunity. If you don't come now, we're going to give it to somebody else, and then you won't get the opportunity to be the Manchester United manager. And he's fell for the bait. He's taken the bait, but he hasn't really been backed in the sense that they're going to... They're backing him in the sense of you can get rid of who you want to get rid of, but they're not backing him in the sense of, well, you can then bring the players in at this moment in time to kind of buffer out the squad again, so you've got a decent enough squad to work with. And the team are just fucking dog shit, mate. They are absolutely awful from top to bottom, back to front as well. Your keeper, what's he doing? He's an absolute clown. And again, I don't even really want to send for Dan because Dan knows, like, this is like kicking a man when he's down. Dan already knows he's limping. Do you know what I mean? It's not fair on him, but the wider fan base need to accept that. As a manager now, he has got a mountain of a job to do to get Man United into any sort of semblance of a competent level club again. Forget top four, forget racing for Europe, forget all of that business. Just get competency back from the top down in that organisation because it absolutely stinks at the moment. And in terms of Spurs, when you look over it at that side, you shouldn't be getting played off the park 3-0 at half time by Everton. No team in the league should be even Ipswich shouldn't be getting bopped off the park 3-0 by Everton. They've had a new manager bouncing, David Moyes, and And Ange, you know, the excuses you can use for Ange Postecoglou in terms of the injuries, how long do you let him have that line for? In reality, when at the end of the day, there is an acceptable measure of, all right, I've got all of these injuries totting up now, one by one. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is the contingency plan. If I can't really get the players that I want to fit into the system that I want to implement and play, there needs to be an adequate contingency plan to be able to just say, we're not going to get drummed home and away and bopped off the park against dross teams. And he hasn't even been able to do that. Now, I don't know whether that's stubbornness or he just isn't up to the job. He hasn't got the acumen of a manager that's fit to play, to manage a team in the Premier League. He started to really have some massive, because I was one of them. When Deji was saying Ange out after, 6 to 10 games in October, November, I was thinking he might be a little bit premature here. And I'm starting to think he might have seen ahead of the curve more than anything else, because what he's doing to your club at the moment is it's career suicide. He'll be lucky if he gets another top flight job in world football again after the job he's doing at Spurs.
I agree, man. I don't know about you, Deji, but I was in a position not long ago where I was thinking, yeah, this guy, one way of playing, plan A, that's going to win some games, that's going to lose some games. At the moment, it ain't even winning some games. Like, I can't believe you haven't had a win since like November or whatever it is, or one win since then. Why is this guy still here, bro? Why is this guy? Does anyone answer me this? Why is this guy still here? Like, what are they hanging on to?
Because of you and because of content creators, Here
we go.
Content creators, I don't want to speak too negatively, but I often see content creators have an opinion, and then the people in the stands have an opinion. And the opinion is this: we or content creators have over-egged or over-talked about the importance of the Minnow Cups, the Carabao Cups, the FA Cups. LB, you were part of that posse, poo-pooing me, shutting me down. Dan was doing it. You're all doing it. And now today, I hope you feel ashamed of yourselves. I hope there's a little bit of guilt coming through your skin cells. Do you get what I'm saying? Because in doing that, you've messed my club up. One of the biggest clubs in English football. English heritage has been destroyed by a couple of newbies who want to lie to the audience about the silverware. And that's what it is. What's happened is Tottenham are looking at Arsenal, the Red Tottenham, Spicy Spurs, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Scotch Bonnet FC. They gave Arteta, for all intents and purposes, that second season was woeful. And so there is this, what if he can do an Arteta and turn Spurs around? That's the first point. The second point is we had Mourinho and we sacked him 3 days before final. If you speak to most Spurs fans, they will say that was cup and career suicide from Daniel Levy. But actually, in my opinion, during that tenure, we were stinky, bro. There was, the players were, there was no confidence. So we weren't going to win that game. But because it never happened, because we didn't allow Mourinho to see it through, we have to go with that narrative. Had Mourinho been there, he would have won a trophy. It's the if. And the if is getting louder and louder. So now, how can Daniel Levy sack Postecoglou when he's in free competition still? And it's advantage Spurs in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Whether you believe Spurs are going to go through against Liverpool or not, that's how they're seeing it. But I'm with you, Errol.
Take off his head. I said it to LB in the chat last night. If they get rid of him, the players will get a new lease of life to think, do you know what? We're still in 3 competitions. We can still win a trophy this season. Fuck the manager. If we can still win it, the next manager that comes in, let's bounce and we'll do it from here.
I'm with you. So what Tottenham are going to do and what Daniel Levy's going to do is he's going to risk Tottenham's Premier League tenure on the proviso that we might win the cup. And the most Spursiest thing could happen, and I think I said it on Pete's show yesterday, is that Spurs could legitimately win this Carabao Cup, but could also go down with that cup. And that would be the most Spursiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Now, for me, just to quickly qualify Ange Ball. Ange Ball is code for gambling. It's code for gambling. There is nothing to that ball. What that ball is, we're going to attack. And in the lower leagues, where they're you're in leagues where you're only competing with 2 teams, you can do that because, you're not going to, the pace of the game is not as quick. So you're less likely to get injuries the way we're suffering from injuries now. And more often than not, you'll win. In the Premier League, he's literally doing roulette football. We are going on black. And if it goes black, I'm a genius. And if it goes red, maybe it's injuries, maybe it's something else. I now genuinely believe every big scope we've had this season was black. Meaning that it was luck. We were lucky to beat Liverpool 1-0. We were lucky to beat Plymouth 4-0. We were lucky to slap up Villa 4-1. Not because we were a good side, but just because on that day it worked. But really and truly,
what about Southampton?
Southampton as well. But really and truly, on any given Sunday, we are hitting more red than black. Meaning we are whack. Whack, 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 whack. I've never seen anything quite like it. Postecoglou legitimately has no clue. And the final thing is, when people were saying, I want Postecoglou out, I knew he was crap. They didn't. Because you couldn't articulate what our Ange Ball was. Now we legitimately know what Ange Ball is. It's a wish, it's a wing and a prayer. Right now, that's all I'm living off. I'm living off a wing and a prayer every week. Knowing I knew we were getting beaten by Everton. How Everton is Spurs whipping boys. Now I'm hoping we can get a result. So that's what Ange has done. He needs to go. He needs to go now. And if the Spurs fans say, let Ange be in until the end of the season, well, whilst we're going down on the Titanic, if you want to find me, I'll be in the kitchen warming up some chicken wings. But I won't be running around because you're running around on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Listen, LB, you and I share a lot of content, man. And do you know what's funny, bruv? You get quite a lot of stick from Spurs fans, man. I don't know what Spurs and this hatred is with Man City. They seem to want to laugh at them all the time. Maybe it's because they have your bogey team, but I don't know why they're laughing too hard, my bro. What's going on with this dusty club, bruv?
They're confused football club. I genuinely believe that they are confused. I think the fan base is confused about what they want, who they are, where they're going. I think the manager is completely confused. I think the players are confused. And I think the only one that's not confused, I think, is Daniel Levy, because he knows exactly what he's doing. It's all about the cash money. He don't care about nothing else. But as a football club, yeah, can you even call them a football club? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're there for. I don't know what they do, man. You know what I mean? You got Deji coming on here. You know what I mean? You don't want to win nothing, man. He wouldn't want to win the trophies. Guys speaking about the Premier League, Spurs and Premier League, that they should not go in the same sentence. Champions League. Not what we're doing here. Yeah, this is a brilliant opportunity for Tottenham to win this Carabao Cup. And Deji the other week was saying he wasn't asked about it, man. This is a completely wrong attitude. The mentality at that football club is backwards. Yeah, I don't know what it's about. They sacked Jose Mourinho a week before a one-off game in a final against Pep Guardiola. Probably one of the greatest managers you could have against Pep Guardiola in a one-off game. They sacked him. You know, they're just not. I don't know how people can be Spurs fans, man. It must be so difficult because I just don't ever see them being a serious club. I always say this: there's a reason why Spurs are the only Big Six club not to win anything in the last 20 years. Because they're not in it for the trophies.
Can we revoke that? I think we should genuinely start a petition to revoke that bullshit. You know, because it's leaving a bad name.
What do you mean?
To the rest of the Big Six by including.
No. I get what you're saying now, 100%. But like, Bro, I just don't understand them, man. The
what's
signings are always trash, man.
LB, what's the bar? What's the barometer to be able to?
Well, this is the thing. Who created the Big Six? It was a PR stunt to make the league sound
needs
better.
to be reversed. It needs.
Well, I think
we're revoking your card, bro.
Well,
it's like you know when Deji, you get this. You know when you see certain black people, you say you got to take your black card away from you. Yo, I'm gonna take Spurs' black card away from them because they are not a Big Six club, my friend. They are not.
Well, for me, Newcastle are basically taking theirs, and then there's an argument for Villa who are coming up just behind them as well. So I don't know, man. I don't understand Spurs. I don't understand their transfer policy. You know what I mean? I don't get they don't sign these players who really strike fear, but they spend an awful lot of money. If you actually look at like the top like spenders, they've spent shitloads of money and they waste it. Yeah, they're one of the richest clubs in the world. Yeah, I've seen it on it's like KPMG or some one of these guys who like does like the finance shit. They've got like the 8th highest revenue in world football. Yeah, there's absolutely no excuses for that football club not to be picking up a trophy here or there every couple of years, and they don't because they run like trash. You know what I mean? And then you get the fans who should be united in the direction of we want to win stuff, and then I hear stuff that they don't want to win Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. So I don't really get it, man. I don't really understand that club, man. To be honest with you, it's a confused club. It's a confused club, bro.
I was feeling everything you were saying until you started getting confused and then started to do this kind of audition for CNN or ESPN, bruv. Look, we're on the 12th man. This ain't bloody ESPN. This bollocks about the cups needs to stop, yeah? Because it's the same bollocks that was fed to United fans, and look where they are. The truth of the matter is, we keep saying these trophies mean something. It doesn't. And the reason why I've been pushing back, let me warn you, Pete. Let me warn you, because you're new to this. You know, and welcome. Do you know what I mean? Let me be polite. Yeah? Let me warn you, Pete. You fall into that crap yourself and start chatting about Carabao Cups, FA Cups, and what's the demise of your club. Know that. Don't shake your bum for that competition.
Don't listen to him, Pete.
If you aim low, you get low results. That's what's been happening. Ask the United fan down there now understands what I was telling him pre-season. He's seeing it at his club now. Winning a Carabao Cup doesn't mean you're good. I want my team to be legit, not win by luck. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's what we're doing. We might win the Carabao Cup. Does that make Spurs a good team? Does that mean we're on the up?
It's irrelevant, bro. Deji, it's irrelevant. You've won a trophy.
I don't buy that.
So let me ask you a question then, Deji. Then, so would you, if you was leading Spurs, would you withdraw Spurs from the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and Europe because they're cup competitions? Would you only play league football matches?
I will aim for all three, but I'll be disappointed if I won the Carabao on its own. I'd be disappointed.
Are you fucking kidding? Nah, come on, man. You chat.
This is what I'm saying when these guys are confused.
I'm here for the big prizes.
Like, I mean, you're coming for me. I've got no idea. I'm just
prizes
listening to the chat. But for me, you cannot tell me, Deji, that I can't be happy with winning the Carabao Cup. If we were lucky to win it this season, we haven't won a trophy for like 60 years, man. Like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. I've never seen us lift a major trophy. You can't tell me I can't be happy with that. We would be ecstatic. And on top of that, the reason why is for the points that, to be fair, LB's mentioned for nearly 2 years now with Newcastle United. We need to break that duck. We need to break that duck because players need to know that they're winners. They need to understand what winning's all about. The problem is with Tottenham, and to be fair, the mentality with Newcastle United is exactly the same. We don't know how to win. We haven't got winners in our team. And winning breeds winning mentality. And you're telling me, right, and you're not the only Tottenham fan. Like I speak to so many Tottenham fans that say exactly the same thing. They discard the Carabao Cup. They discard the FA Cup like it's rubbish. But you want to then fight for the You want to fight for the Champions League. Hold on. You've got no chance of winning the Premier League or the Champions League. And I'll say it now. You've got no chance of winning the Europa League for the fact that your team hasn't got a winning mentality. And it hasn't got a winning mentality for the reason why some of your fans discard some of these trophies. These trophies now, my last point, these trophies now are the most competitive. How about FA Cup? Every one of them is the most competitive it's ever been in my lifetime.
The last four, the last four Premier League teams in the top 10.
You cannot discard any of these trophies because they are so hard to win. Yes, it's not the biggest trophy, Carabao Cup. FA Cup's bigger. European Cup football, Premier League, the pinnacle. They're so competitive.
Can I just say?
Wait there, Deji. Pete, when you deep it though, the last four of the Carabao Cup has Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Spurs. Spurs on a normal season should obviously be within the top 10. But those other three teams are all fighting for European places. If you're not considering a victory, if you get over the line against those four as something to be proud of, I don't know where your head's at. The thing is, let me finish, Edge. The thing with your lot is you've been gaslit, and it's not been fair because the gaslighting probably didn't start by yourselves, but that gaslighting of having people expect you to be a top 6 now has got you confused. It is like, and you'll have to let me land on this. It's like that one brother. No, listen, don't you start. It's like that one brother that's been with that one thing, that one time now, yeah. And you think you're a 10 all of a sudden. And unless you're getting in bed with another 10, you're sitting there having Tommy Tanks every night. Bro, sometimes, bro, the little 6s and 5s and 4s, you've got to get on the doors for the scores, my friend, and you have not got the minerals.
I hear that, but look at this.
Oh, he hears that one now.
And you know what? Look, I know that, apart from streaming, I'm dealing with learned friends. So you're all putting forward persuasive arguments here. Solicitors and barristers and all. And we've got, community advocates in this space as well. So look, I'm delighted with the arguments you're putting forward. The truth is, West Ham that won a European Cup, where are they now? United that won an FA Cup.
I'm delighted with the points you're putting forward. Fucking hell, man.
West Ham are above you in the league, bro.
I'm just saying. They won all these trophies, and where are they now? So I hear you. Very persuasive, but I also look at the evidence, recent evidence of those who've won those cups and where they are now, and it's absolutely rubbish. Look,
they're all above you, bro.
I'm not convinced. Look, the one thing I was delighted about with our win against Liverpool was the fact that we beat, a strong Liverpool team that day. And so for me, that is why I shook my bum, and I was very, very happy to have seen that. But normally, generally speaking, that is a competition that all the big teams were experimenting. And I say this and I'll say it again. Liverpool's lineup in the final, if that's the Champions League final, Liverpool do not make those subs. With the same circumstances in the Champions League, they wouldn't, because there's levels to this trophy thing. But hey, we can agree to disagree. I'm just saying this though. We talk about you can't go from the bottom to the top. Just know that Nottingham Forest is joint second.
Who's their manager? Didn't you have him? What happened?
Yeah, we're idiots. I'm not going to lie to you. But Nottingham Forest is joint second. And I bet everyone on this panel doesn't believe that they would finish top 4. How do you know?
Would you take Nuno back, Dej?
Bruv, I would have given him more time. We all know why. I have my suspicions as to why he wasn't given enough time. Obviously, they didn't like his football, but I also think he deserved more time than he was given. Bruv, look, I don't want to go back there. I wouldn't take Nuno back because I felt like it just didn't work for him. But he's not a bad manager. He's proven it today.
Crazy. Look, let's quickly touch on Man United because Amorim, yeah, I agree with Vero. I feel sorry. I don't know what the hell happens from here, but I know what should happen. They should back Amorim like they did Ten Hag, because clearly Ten Hag has messed this up with some of the players he's brought in. If they truly believe that Amorim is the guy, they're going to have to back him with some wing backs, a couple of midfielders, and a centre forward that is an upgrade on all of the rubbish and trash that Ten Hag has brought through. We can't have any more Xerxes. You can't have any more Hoylands. You can't have any more centre halves. Who? Anthony. Yeah, all this rubbish. Absolute rubbish. It's got to be better. And I don't know where you stand on this, Dan, and if you trust Ineos to get it right, or if you've just tapped out for the season, or what. You look a bit deflated, bruv.
I'm tapped out. I was angry and upset yesterday, and Pete had the pleasure of having me on his show, which I was so close, Pete, to cancelling. I was going to tell you I got a tickly cough and everything, mate, honestly. Yeah, look, do you know something? There's been a discussion today, and I don't like it. The pundits, the ones that are paid millions to tell us what we think we should know about football. Some of them don't agree with what he's come out and said about it, about the football club, about the players. I say to that, get a grip. He has, since he's been here, I think he's made it known that he's not happy with the squad. I think he's made it known that he's not happy with players trying to play in this formation. And I hear people saying we should revert back to different formations because it's not fair. The players obviously aren't getting it. And to that, again, I say get a grip. I think he's drawn his line in the sand the second he took the club over. I think he knew it was going to be tough. I appreciate, Errol saying he feels sorry for him, but I think there has to be a bigger plan here, because there's no way this man's coming here to accept what's happening at the moment. I think he's obviously got a plan in his mind of where he thinks the club should go. And look, today's a positive day in the way that Anthony has finally gone. Real Betis. I'm so chuffed about that. My only worry is we're seeing these little reports starting to surface now that Rashford has now said he wants to stay. Now, for me, I think that's embarrassment from Rashford. I think he was expecting all the big boys to come and get him, and no one's come and got him. And he's completely done himself on that by having the big wages and having a poor attitude. No big club is looking at a man like Marcus Rashford and saying, that's the guy we're bringing over to help our season. No chance. So egg on his face. And I think if Amorim does the right thing, this is where we'll know if Amorim's got complete control of that dressing room from Ineos. If he's got complete free hits here, is if Rashford doesn't go in January and he says, absolutely fine, I'm not using you. You will not be in my squad until the end of the season. Casemiro, obviously, we're still waiting for him to go. I think a big tell on that is that he again has not been, he wasn't in the squad against Southampton, didn't get on yesterday, didn't get on at Anfield. This is a player who's on 375 grand a week. We have a manager who, for once, has come out and called it as it is. The only manager that's close to ever doing that was Jose Mourinho, and look what happened to him. He was bombed out. Ralph Rangnick come out and said what he said, but he was an interim. I don't class it as that. So for me to hear a manager say this, I fall in love with him each and more every day. I think, to be honest, I think the season is going to get worse for Manchester United. We are now the 20th of January. I said this on Pete's show yesterday. We still haven't won a game in the 2 games in the Premier League back to back. That's horrific. I'm hearing Bruno coming out and saying, I've not come here to lose. No, you've come here to roll around on the floor wearing the captain's armband for a club that so much more. And again, I repeat myself on this. When you play football, where it be Sunday League, under 9s, Saturday football, League 2, League 1, Championship, any fucking club in the world, any football team in the world, when you're under pressure and you look around your pitch, you look to your captain to lead you. And all my boys are seeing at the moment, and they don't get off scot-free, by the way, but all my boys are seeing at the moment is a man rolling around on the floor, hands on his face, just check and see if the ref gives him anything. I think it's an absolute disgrace. But again, like I said to Pete and Potts, I hope you back me on this. I said this was coming. Regardless of the cups. And Deji, I know you say I shake the tail and that I, should now bow down and say you were right. The cups are the cups. The cups paper over the cracks that have been forming for the last 11 years. I said that this club was going to hit rock bottom. It was happy. We had happy times. City in the FA Cup last season, Newcastle in the Carabao Cup before. But this has been coming, and this needed to happen. And I think the only thing that can come from this is like a phoenix, we have to rise. And in doing that, we have to back the manager. We have to make sure that come the summer, we get rid of more of these players. Because let's face it, there are a few players that are on free transfers at the end of this season, like to Lindelof. Luke Shaw has not got a career at Manchester United. He is completely done in my eyes. We raced to get him back fit. He lasts a game and a half and he's gone. So he'll be gone. Anthony's on his way out now. I hope in the summer that's the same. Then you've got the other players. You've got the Johnny Evans who will go. Tom Heaton will go. Onana. That man has to go. Okay. And I'm here to apologise as a Manchester United fan tonight because I got it wrong on every sense of the word wrong. When I said that De Gea should go, I said De Gea has to go. You can't play it from the back. You can't. This man doesn't play it from the back. This man's only assists this season is assisting the opposition, putting the ball in the back of the net. I'm sick of it. We got rid of a world-class keeper to spend 55 million on a keeper that can't save, can't come for crosses. They call him the vampire because he's scared of crosses. That's how bad it is. I legitimately think it will get worse. As I said, Deji, you better buckle up too, Sunshine, because I think that both of us, this is going to get worse. And it wouldn't surprise me if come the end of the season, neither of our teams hit over 40 points. And I say that with chest. I say that with chest. I back it. I own it. But the one thing from this that has to happen is this manager has to be here next season to bring in the new way. And the new way has to be his way. Because if it doesn't, then it was pointless him coming in the first place. And don't you dare, Manchester United fans, owners, board members, all of you, anyone involved in that fucking club, expect us to turn against this manager. Okay, don't expect us next season, if it's going wrong, to go, no, we've got to make the change again, because this can't happen. These players cannot outlast another manager. The change has got to come.
That was the thing. The way you reeled that off, and I agree with everything you were saying. The one of the bigger challenges that you're likely to face in that equation is Ineos move like snails when it comes to dealings in the summer transfer window. How many summer transfer windows have they had now? They had two.
One. They've had the one.
One summer, 2 Januaries. In that time, they've moved like snails to do business. So I appreciate the ones that are going to be out of contract is fairly easy because, contracts up, they go out the door. But ones where they're going to have to sell in volume 3, 4, 5 players, and then ones where they're going to have to negotiate deals to replace 3, 4, 5 players. We know the summer transfer window. We all think it's a long window, but clubs don't historically just do like wholesale pieces of business. It takes time. And I just think what you need is that wholesale just fell swoop of, even if it's not players of the right level, players that are more adaptable to the system, that you can just get those deals and you've got those working relations. You can get it over the line within a couple of...
You know what it is, Errol? Quick, right? Sorry to cut you, bro. Right?
No,
Paddy Power put out something and we all laughed at it. I think I might have even put it in, or maybe Billy did. I can't remember who it was now. Someone did. And it said, to be fair, Amorim's walked in. All he needs to do is get a goalkeeper, 2 centre-halves, 2 fullbacks, go and get himself a couple of central midfielders, go and get a couple of wingers and a couple of strikers, and they might have a decent 11. And everyone laughed. It ain't wrong, though, is it? I look at Amad Diallo and I think, that's about it.
This is, sorry, Pete, just quickly. I got stick on a couple of videos I did on TikTok. Because after the Southampton game, I wasn't shaking my bum for Xerxes. I wasn't going, oh my God, this guy. Because I'm expected to feel amazing and chilled and fucking up for it that Xerxes come on against 20th placed Southampton and change the game. I'm supposed to be there going, I got it wrong. This guy shouldn't have been booed off at halftime. Xerxes is not the answer. Hoyland is not the answer. The whole fucking front of Manchester United is not the answer. It is a disgrace, and there is no hiding from it. There is no. And Errol, you say that Ineos move very, very slow with their processes. I genuinely feel at the moment, though, they have.
I don't think they're alone in that. I don't think they're alone in that. But
I get that. But what I mean is, I think they have been left that mess in the sense of trying to get rid of these players on ridiculous contracts. Only Manchester United would give a 31-year-old a £375,000 a week 4-year contract. Only Manchester United would do that. Only. LB, would you guys do that? Would you guys if De Bruyne, considering the club legend he is, in fact, I'll ask you, if De Bruyne, club legend he is, said, look, I'm staying, but you've got to give me a 4-year contract. LB, your club would say, off you go, see ya, bye-bye, we'll bring someone else through. Errol, you've got it going on with Salah at the moment. Do you think Salah's going to get a 4-year contract at his age? No chance. And this is it. This is where Man United have been for so long. It's spin. They love to bring these players in, these decorated players. We've got Casemiro in. He is the missing linchpin. Bro, there is no linchpin. Everything's missing. So it's
you know what this reminds me of? You know what this reminds me of, Dan, is obviously Amorim saying it's the worst United team ever or whatever he said, yeah. It reminds me of when it was that sporting director that you had that managed the club for a bit.
Woodward,
no,
yeah.
The guy they actually give the job to, but he's a sporting director. Ragnick. Do you remember when Ragnick came out and said,
sorry, I thought you were
that the team needs open heart surgery.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very similar to that. Like Amorim's coming out. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like Amorim's come out there, right? And I think what he's doing, he's setting his stall early and saying, I'm letting everybody know that this place is a shit show. And if I go down, i.e. get sacked, yeah? If I go down, I'm not going to be like fucking saying, oh, sorry. Like, I'm going to let everybody know that this is because the players are crap and the board is crap. So what he's doing there, yeah, he's now putting it on the board, the sporting director, to sort it out, mate. Because if they don't sort it out, he's not going to act. Bro, this manager, yeah, his stocks are mad high. At Lisbon, obviously, just come off the back of beating City 4-1. His stocks are at the. He ain't gonna let United fuck it over, mate. So I think he's playing this card very well. Rashford's got no chance of getting back in this squad because if Amorim brings him back into the squad, see you later. You've lost control. You've lost control because what does that tell you? It tells you that you can do what you want and the manager will bring it in. It's like when you know, your parents, when you was a kid, they said, don't do that. You know what I mean? And you did it again and they didn't do fuck all. You knew you could get away with it time and time again. He cannot be brought back into this squad. Now, I think he'll get off because I think Amorim's going to let him know that, bro, you ain't not involved. But I think Amorim's doing the right thing. I think United have to stick with Amorim. I think the fans have to stick with him. He's not going to get everything right. Yeah, and you'll get battered in some of the games because he's playing in this system with 5 at the back, or three, whatever you want to call it, with players that can't do it. But what he's not going to do, and this is what some United fans want him to do, and I disagree, but I'm with Amorim on this, he's not going to change the system to suit the players.
Correct.
He's going to say, this is my system. If you can't play it, see you later. See you later.
Thank
and
you.
I think that's part of that's actually, I think, where Ten Hag went a little bit wrong.
I reckon
because he adapted too much to the players rather than just coming in and saying,
I reckon he's going to end up with quite a few academy prospects coming through next year as well.
Well, yeah,
I was going to say it's the perfect way for him to weed out the players that he knows are not good enough for the club is by setting his stall out quite early on. But you raised a few points here, and I'll kind of work backwards. Is that with Amorim, I agree with LB. I think he's doing exactly what he needs to do to protect himself. First and foremost, he's protecting himself. He is going in and going, this place is shit. If this goes tits up, this isn't on me. This is on the fact that this club is toxic, and this club was toxic before I walked through the door. Because he will know the managers that have been and gone before him, that are high-level ranked managers. Okay, apart from Ollie, that have come in and not done the job for whatever reason. So he will know that, and he's taken on this job because he wants to be ensured that he can do what he needs to do. I agree. Rashford is not going to play for the club again. I'll be honest. I'm surprised that they're still playing and giving minutes to Casemiro. I think that they're both needing to be out of the club. But I think this comes back to a bigger picture for me. Is that Errol, you mentioned about Ineos being really slow and acting slow, particularly in the transfer market. I didn't see it that way. I thought they acted really quickly in the summer. They acted faster than probably any other Premier League club in terms of they set their stall out on who they wanted and they went and got them and spent the best part of over 200 million acquiring those players. They had pretty much all their business done before some of us. There was Liverpool, there was Tottenham, there was Newcastle, there was a few other clubs that hadn't even done one deal before Man United had done their deals. So they have acted quickly. The problem is now is they've put all their eggs in one basket. They put all their eggs in the summer basket and said, these are our reinforcements. This is what we're going with. And it failed because the recruitment was not good enough. And it was as simple as that. And what's happening now is, in my opinion, I'm not a finance guy, so I don't know the details, but I'm looking at Man United's situation and it's ringing alarm bells for me from a Man U point of view that they're maxed out. It's not that they're failing PSR, but I think they've got no money to spend. And I think the only way they can recoup that is get rid of the big earners. And this is why you've not seen Man United do any business. It was already said a week or two before the window opened that this Diego Leon, or the left back that they were going to sign, was likely to be the only signing of the January window. Now, if you're looking at Man United as a club, you can say, and we've all joked and laughed about it, but you can see the obvious signings that they need to make. But they can't do anything because they need Rashford gone. Rashford's not left yet with 2 weeks to go. Casemiro needs to go. Nobody's coming in for him. And there's so many other players because when you have been in a toxic club for so long, right? And your club is doing everything but going up. You're going down and down and down. Nobody's going to want to sign those players because they know that the club wants them off the books. There's no way that even Saudi are going to pay big fees for these players because they're not in the same light as what they used to be. So Man United are in a real difficult position right now, and I don't see it getting any better. I see at best for you, you got Anthony off the books, but look, with the money that he's on, and what he was earning,
we're paying more than that.
There's no way that Real Betis are paying anywhere close to his
We're probably
fees
paying
right
75%. We're probably paying 75%.
So therefore, you're hardly better off. Just one last point. You're hardly better off in that situation. The only way you're going to benefit is that if you get Rashford off the books completely, which you're not going to. So for me, Man United aren't going to sign anyone of any note in this window. And what we're seeing right now for Man United is just going to continue, if not get worse. And that's just the reality of this season. You are not going to see anything from Man United this season, and that's just me looking from the outside.
But then again, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to shock people. I would rather keep Rashford at Manchester United and let him go to Dortmund because Dortmund won't be able to pay the wages, and there's no chance we're doing that again this January. Loaning them a player that can get them where they want to go, where they pay absolutely nothing for. You're telling me that Dortmund are going to be able to come and pay half of Rashford's wages? No chance. I'd much rather.
We probably will, mate. We'll probably do it, Dan. We'll come in and swoop in.
All that will do, if Rashford goes to Dortmund, all that will do is heighten even more the fact that your club is absolutely in the mud right now because they cannot afford for Sancho to go on loan and pull Dortmund to the Champions League final and actually improve his level of football. And then Rashford to potentially go and do the same because the question marks are not going to be on the player. If Rashford goes and smashes it at Dortmund, the question marks aren't going to be at the player. The question marks are going to be at the club. Why are Man United producing players like that? And you know what? Why that's not good for you. And I know you're a big club with history and all the rest of it. But I tell you what, Dan, the players that are worth their salt that you're going to be looking at are not going to want to go to Man United because they're seeing players high esteem go to that club and actually drop their levels and it ruin their reputation. It's going to stop big players wanting to come to you.
Ten Hag's going to Dortmund, so Rashford won't go there if he does leave. But I don't know. I don't know if it is happening. That's the rumor anyway. But look, man, I know we haven't got long, so I want to move on to get LB and Deji in before they go at 9. LB, very quickly, bro. You said you can't win the league. I think that's fair. Do you think that you should concentrate on the cups is my first question. My second question is if you can't win the league or don't think you can, do you think you can still finish second in the league?
Well, whether you finish fourth, third or second, it don't really make a difference to me.
No.
To be honest with you.
Do you think you can, though, finish runners-up? Do you think you could?
I think we could do, yeah. I think we could finish runners-up. I don't think it's out of the question. I think we finished runners-up considering what we've done. That's not a bad result. But yeah, just focus on the FA Cup and the Champions League, man. You know what I mean? We're getting these players through the door. One of them's already been announced. We've got another 2 coming. Maybe we're going to get Douglas Luiz. Maybe we're going to get this Cambiasso from Inter Milan. We'll see what happens there. Juventus, sorry. But yeah, bro, like we just need to just fucking.
LB,
you know what I mean?
Tell me you're innocent without telling me you're fucking innocent. There's no way City doing all this. It's done. That's done.
I agree.
People should forget. People should never ever speak of the 115 again. The Haaland contract, the Pep contract, the signings in January. Nobody speak about it anymore. It's done. It's done.
Yeah, man. 100%. 100%. They'll get fines for non-compliance. That'll be it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that'll be it. And when you look at Haaland, 10-year deal, I mean, my word. I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought he was going to stay for a bit, but I didn't think he was going to stay for that long.
I said to my chat, yeah, the best thing that happened to us was Mbappe joining Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That was the best thing to happen to us because that was it. Really, for me, that's the only club that he could go to that would fit his sort of profile. And obviously, they signed Mbappe. As soon as they signed Mbappe, I don't see anywhere else he could go unless he wanted to go like Saudi Arabia and get like ridiculous money. Like he probably could get a couple of million a week there. So yeah, very happy, man. It's been a good week. We've signed our players. Do you know what I mean? Like I knew my club would sign players. You know what I mean? I knew my club would sign players, and that's exactly what we've done. So. Yeah, we just need to get ourselves back in that top 4, give the cups a good go, FA Cup and Champions League, and then go again next year. Is what it is, man.
Why can't you win one of them? I think you could. A lot
Depends
of
on the
people are saying you're
midfielder. FA Cup, not so much. Like you could win an FA Cup without buying a midfielder, right? But Champions League, if we don't buy a midfielder, nah, it ain't happening.
Looks like
So
you're going to though, bro. It looks like Douglas Luiz or this does this Cambiasso play fullback or a midfield?
He can play anywhere by the sounds of it. Apparently, I've never seen him play, but like everyone I've spoke to said he's meant to be like fucking mint. So he can play anywhere. But yeah, I'd like to get Douglas Luiz in just for a little bit of even if it's just a loan deal, a little 6-month loan deal, maybe an option to buy. And just go from there, man. But consider the fact that we are, I think we are now at this moment in time. Are we in the top 4 because Chelsea have just conceded? Like at this moment in time, yeah, I think we are. I think we are in top 4 on goals scored. That tells you how shit this league is, by the way. Yeah, because how the hell are we 4th / maybe 5th? Like, how is that even a thing? That's actually insane. So we got a big game coming up against PSG on Wednesday, man. We need to win 1 game out of the next 2 against PSG and Bruges. We win one of them, we get into that playoff game, and then let's go from there, man. But listen, it is what it is. I think obviously I told you guys, I told Errol on that. I said about 5 weeks ago, this league's done. This league's done. I told you 5 weeks ago Liverpool had won the league. I said it was chalked. As soon as Saka got injured, it was over, mate. It was over as soon as Saka got injured because he is like the guy in your team that keeps you going. And as soon as he got injured, he was chalk. So, and then people was trying to tell me that this is how I know people don't really know about football yet. People try to tell me, that result for Liverpool against Forest was a bad result. I was like, it wasn't a bad result. You've just gone to one of the informed teams in the country. You've got a 1-1, got no major injuries. And in the next 3 games, Arsenal have to play Villa and Manchester City while Liverpool have 3 easily winnable games. So these guys, man, it's all about managing the season. You're not going to win 38 games out of 38, right? It's about managing it. And Liverpool have done that very, very well. They're the best team in the league. And we have to up our game in the summer, man.
Why do you think, LB, just quickly, sorry, bro. Why do you think, because my thoughts on Arsenal will not win the league. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that seem to believe that we still can. What would you say to those fans as to why we can't?
Because you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not balanced enough. You don't have a good enough players. I don't think your manager's good enough. And I think your mentality is all over the place. I think I'm being deadly serious here. I think this constant referee thing that you do is you might think that it's a good thing because it's like, you're calling them out and the PGMOL will hate us and it sort of like unites all the fat. I think it's backwards. I think actually what it does, it provides you with a get out every single time. Every time you drop points, can we blame the referee? I mean, I'm not being funny here. The amount of Arsenal fans, and fair play, there was a lot of Arsenal fans that normally moan who called it out. Still, the amount of Arsenal fans that I see moaning about that handball decision against Havertz. I mean, I'm like, it fucking hit his hand. You can see it. But why did it take him 30 seconds? Well, maybe because it hits his hand, bro. And they might have seen the clip from behind. Like, what's going on here? Like, I think you guys, I mean, Rodri said it. Yeah, Rodri said that they don't have the mentality. Yeah, and I think the way that you set up at the Etihad for me it sums it up, man. You come there, you shit yourself every time. You park the bus. And that, for me, is just not the mentality of a team that goes on and win the league. You've got to be brave, man. It's hard to win it. You've got to be brave in it. You've got to come in like child teams. I think you guys are just, I don't think everything. I think actually you're quite far away from a title. I think maybe I thought you was a bit closer to a title, even though you finished second 2 years in a row. I think actually you're quite far away from a title. I think you still think you're about 2 or 3 starting players away, a couple of squad players away, and then you need a complete and utter mentality shift.
I'm going to be honest.
I can't disagree with much of that, to be fair. Sorry, is that you, Pete? Go on, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. With Arsenal's situation, you're higher up in the league than Tottenham, but I could have just done copy and paste in what I said about Tottenham and said it to you in exactly the same way. Is that Arsenal is just it's a mentality issue. It really is. And Arsenal up until you got to the last stages of the Carabao Cup, so many Arsenal fans had the same attitude and mentality to the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup as Tottenham fans did. And I think it's absolutely wrong. You needed to breed that winning mentality. If you'd have gone for the cups in the last 2 years, as well as fighting for the league, and you picked up a couple of cups on the way, right, you would not be feeling the way you're feeling as a fan base now because you'd have had some trophies in the cabinet. The pressure would have been off Arteta. and you've been able to build again, knowing that players would want to come to you, knowing that you're picking up trophies, and that we wouldn't be as a panel having this conversation about Arsenal. We ain't won anything in 5 years. You know, Arteta's not put trophies in the cabinet and all the rest of it. It's exactly the same as Tottenham. Yes, Tottenham are further down in the league. You're up there. That's fine. But the mentality for me, for Arsenal, it's exactly the same as Tottenham.
Potts, can I ask you a question? Are you worried about the decent players you've got in your team wanting to move on after this season? You know, they've obviously been excuse me, getting sick there. So they've obviously been sold this dream by Arteta. You know, we've got the mentality. We're going to do this. We're going to win the league. Do you fear the likes of Saliba gone? Do you think they'll want to move on?
Yeah, not yet, but they will. I think we're safe for this summer, but after that, when the contracts run down, I think nah. Look, I've done this before, Dan. I've seen this before with Cesc Fabregas. I saw it before with Robin van Persie. I've seen it before with Alexis Sanchez. And then when the youngsters come through yet again, I saw it again when Ramsey went and when we got Wilshere and Oxlade-Chamberlain and Walcott. And now this is just Youth Project 3 with Saka and Saliba and co. And it could happen again if you don't win. If you don't win trophies, you can't keep them. You can promise them all the world, but if you're not delivering, actions speak louder than words, don't they? So you've got to do it. And I think Arteta's a part of that. He's got to deliver and get across the line this season with a Champions League or a Premier League. Otherwise, Saliba won't be happy. If I'm honest with you, Saliba is the one that I do worry about most. I think Saka's got the fact that he loves the club and behind him, he's a bit more of a old school player. But I think like players like Saliba and co might look elsewhere when they get to a stage of Real Madrid knocking. And I actually do believe even at Saliba at 23, I think one day he'll play for Real Madrid. He might be 27, 28 when he plays for him, but he definitely will play there one day. Even if we win, he will go because he's a top quality centre-half. He's one of the best.
What did I say to you last week, Potts?
You've got to say this. Right?
I said this to you last week. I said, like, rather than thinking about you taking players off other people and going again, you do need to be worried about these players that are going to think and go elsewhere.
100%, bro. 100%.
I made the point, and I'll say it again. I'm looking at Barcelona destroying Real Madrid, and Real Madrid have got some elite players and have some elite quality in their team, but they are massively lacking at centre-back. You cannot tell me that they're not looking around at teams now that they can.
They want Saliba. They want Trent. They want Saliba. They're going to get him, aren't they, one day?
They're moving mad, mate. They're moving, and the problem that you've got is, he's only got 2 years left on his deal, right?
27, yeah.
Right, so this is the thing, right? So what could happen here is, right, you might not sell him this summer, and then your fan base will obviously get gassed about it. But if he doesn't sign a contract,
well, have to sell him
real quick, then all of a sudden it gets down to 1 year, and then you're in the shit. Because then he could just then you've got to sell if he doesn't want to. Let's just go on the like proviso that he actually wants to play for Real Madrid and Real Madrid actually want him, which we don't actually know if any of that's true. But let's just say that's true, right? If he doesn't sign a new contract, bro, what are you going to do?
Well, we've got to sell him next summer if he doesn't want to start. We can't keep him on a free. You know what I mean? We've got to get money. We can't do a Liverpool, can we? You know
need to hit some of these 10-year contracts, bro. My club's making moves. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now that you can do these loopholes, I mean, everyone needs to sign a 10-year. Saliba's not going to do that. But look, I'm not worried that everyone's going to clear out, right? And I understand what Pete's saying. I know he's obviously talking about all the Arsenal fans that want Isak, but Newcastle are in that position as well, man. Do you know what I mean? They're in exactly the same position. They're going to lose Isak and Bruno G and Tonali if they don't get Champions League football or European football. So I think all the clubs are going to be like that. Saliba at Real Madrid is a definite worry. It's going to happen at some stage. It just will. It will absolutely happen because I believe he is that good and I believe he wants to go there one day.
He is, but I think the issue with Arsenal is not about players leaving. It's the fact that you don't bring in the right players.
That's true as well.
This thing about Arsenal being the spicy Spurs, the red Tottenham, the Scotch Bonnet FC, Red Hot Chili Peppers, didn't just come out of thin air. The thing is, Arsenal have had time after time opportunities to do the right business from 3 seasons ago. Bring in the player that you need, win the league. That simple. Last season, they were even closer. Bring in a striker, take City to the promised land, and you fluffed your lines. This season, January again, we're halfway through, and there is no sign of a striker. There is no Arsenal fan that could be sitting in their yard happy with this rubbish. Because at least with Spurs, Whether it works or not, there is an attempt. But there is just no attempt from your club. That has got to be the most Spursy thing I've ever seen in my life. When you have all the tools and resources to get the job done, and you don't do it. That for me,
we're doing our best. We're doing our best to be Spurs. Let me be real. We're doing our best.
I really do think you are Tottenham's older brother, Spicy Spurs, and unfortunately, we are looking up to you for assistance and advice.
I don't know why. I don't know why Spurs tried to copy Arsenal in their worst 2 decades of Arsenal's history, and Tottenham are trying to copy us in our worst 2 years of our history. What is going on? Anyway, look, I'm kind of with Dej. I think that we can't laugh too hard when we're not winning shit as well. 30 years without a League Cup and a European trophy, and 21 without a Premier League, and it's been 5 now without an FA Cup because we're out of that as well. So, yeah, man, it ain't good. And I don't think that we can keep hold of this manager if we finish in May without a trophy. But a lot of my fan base love him and think that he's staying whatever. And I actually agree with that. I think he's staying whatever. But I don't think we should keep and reward failure with a 3-year deal at 15 million a year when the guy's won nothing. I don't get that. It makes no sense to me. But look, man, I know Deji and LB, I know you've got to shoot off. So big up to both of you, man. Appreciate you both coming on, man. Make sure you're following both these guys, man. All right, in a bit, lads. Let's close with Newcastle and Liverpool. 2 very kind of different conversations to have. We'll start with you, Pete, because I mean, I keep getting cocky and going, I told you about Newcastle, and then you go and let me down again. So now I'm just going to say nothing more. Newcastle are rubbish. They're not going to get top 4. They're awful. They're probably going to finish in the bottom half. That's what I'll say, because that way you might get Champions League if I say that. Because every time I keep bigging them up, I'm getting put in the mud. So I'm not going to do that anymore, mate. What happened at the weekend? Because if I'm honest with you, bro, Bournemouth played very, very well from what I could see.
I blame you, Pops. I blame you. You keep bigging us up after the game. I'm there just chill, just like enjoying the moment and happy in myself that we're doing all right. And you keep bigging us up. You keep tagging in Don. You keep tagging in everyone else.
Do you know what? Don hates it, man. He hates Newcastle. I don't know what it is about Don. He doesn't. He's like, because
he sees us as a threat.
They're rubbish.
He sees us as a threat. That's why. That's the reality. He sees what we've done, and he won't admit it. But he sees us as a genuine threat. And you know, they were doing well. They've spent a hell of a lot of money, so they should be doing well. And now they're at a point where we are pretty much neck and neck right now. And he doesn't like it because we are at that point where we're fighting at the same table as them. But look, it was a shock on Saturday. Not a shock that Bournemouth were good, because Bournemouth are a really good team. And I have to say this to Newcastle fans sometimes, particularly on my previews. They look at the name of the team and they're like, yeah, 4-0, 5-0, and they do it even when we were playing bad. Like, and it's like, no, you need to look at the team, you need to look at the performances, you need to look at the style of play. Like, not a lot of Newcastle fans knew going into that game on Saturday morning that Bournemouth were unbeaten in 10. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're a good side. And people don't realise it. And then all of a sudden, they're coming out after a 4-1 loss going, oh, Bournemouth are a good side. Well, yeah, they are. Absolutely. But if you think I'm going to come on here and I'm going to kick off and I'm going to be telling you that I'm worried that everything's a mess, you're not getting that from me. After winning 9 in a row. You know, we've been absolutely brilliant recently. We've had a great run. And I'll be honest with you, even at the end of the Wolves game on Wednesday night, the boys looked tired. I said it to you at the Tottenham game in the run up to the Arsenal game. And I don't know where we found that little bit of extra energy from, but the boys looked tired. And in particular, our better players looked tired. Bruno looked tired. Gordon looked tired. Isak looked tired. And it, you know, sometimes it happens after the end of the run, but it still doesn't make it acceptable the way in which we lost. From minute 1, we were second to everything. They pretty much they play very much a similar style to us, and they literally outplayed us from minute 1. They outplayed our way of playing, and they fully deserved it. I can't moan, but Ariola's got the better of Eddie Howe in every game that he's managed against us. We have an issue. We haven't beat Bournemouth since Eddie Howe's been in charge.
Is that a Bournemouth and Eddie Howe thing, though?
well, we joke about it and we think that it is, but now we're thinking, well, is it? Because it's the one team other than Liverpool that we just can't seem to beat. And it doesn't matter what team they've got, what performance or what run they're in, they just seem to be able to get the better of us. But you got no complaints from me. They were by far the better team. We were really, really poor. But for me, it's on the players, it's on the manager now. We've got Southampton next away on Saturday. Go and win. Go and win well. Go and get those 3 points and show us that it was just an off day. It was just a blip, and that we're back. And we're back to doing what we know we can do, because what we've proven in the last 5-6 weeks.
Look, I'm a fan of what Newcastle do. I think your first 11's great. Maybe your squad depth needs improving, and I think PSR has prevented you from doing that as quick as I think you'd like to. But I must say, I think you've got a really good 11, man. And I know that the weekend was a blip, but hopefully for your sake, you can get back on the wagon and go for it. And I think your fullbacks deserve credit, Livramento and Lewis Hall this season. I think your trio in midfield is very, very good. I do think when you've got your centre-back pairing back fit, I think they're both decent as well. And I think Shah's quite underrated alongside Botman, who I think is a beast if he can stay fit. And then we all know what you got up top, Gordon and Isak. And I must say, Jacob Murphy deserves a lot of credit this season from him coming in. I know Miguel Almiron was a guy that you wanted to try and upgrade upon. And I'm sure with the news today that you're looking at Alex Baena from Villarreal, if that's true, he is a baller, bruv. Absolute baller. I don't know how true that is, Pete, but he is quality.
I'm not going to lie. The report that it came from doesn't fill me with any confidence, because they've spouted a lot of shite before, and it's never come to anything. So I've taken that link with a pinch of salt. But the one thing that is happening is Miggy's going. I think they're close to an agreement with going back to Atlanta United in the MLS. For me, the journalists are reporting that even if he is sold, they're not necessarily likely to replace, which for me is not acceptable. We cannot go in the second half of the season with one recognised right winger in Jacob Murphy. And we've got Barnes out for the next 3 weeks on top of that. So we've only got one left winger currently. So we cannot go into that Southampton game with one right winger and one left winger as a genuine option available.
Have Raheem if you want, mate. If you fancy Raheem Sterling, I mean,
No, you're right. Look, I think Newcastle are doing what they're planned to do is to keep as much money back as possible to ensure they have a really strong summer. But when you're in the fight for top European potentially Champions League football, you've got to strengthen your team.
Where are you finishing, Pete? Come on, have some chest. Where are you going? What are you going for? What are you saying?
Okay, well, right at the beginning of the season, I said to you the highest that we could finish, in my opinion, was 5th, with the hope that 5th brought Champions League football. That was what I was saying. For me, if you'd have asked me 6 weeks ago, I would have said probably not in Europe at all, because we didn't look like it. Now I'm going to say to you, I'm going to stick with that 5th.
Love it.
Like in terms of where I think we can finish, we can compete with Chelsea, Man City. We don't know what to expect. If Forest keep pushing up, then it's going to be really hard. We're 6 points behind them at the moment, but they've got some tough games coming up. I'm gonna back my team and say that we could, at the absolute maximum, I think we could finish 5th. Pete, European football, regardless, is priority, but I do think we can finish 5th.
Pete, imagine you finish 5th. Yes, Champions League, and United win the Europa League.
You know what? I'll block
my number. You would block my number.
Yeah, I'd be absolutely gutted, but the saving grace is that we'd still qualify for a European competition, which we didn't last season. So there'd be a little bit of saving grace there. But yeah, of course, I'd be absolutely distraught at that 2 years in a row.
Do you know what? I'm going to go along with that. I think Newcastle. I said Newcastle 4th, and then they really dipped, and I thought, oh God, what have I done here? I still think 5th place gets Champions League, and I think City will get 4th. I think they will. And I think it'll be Chelsea and City that get top 4, and then maybe Newcastle 5th at the moment. That's what I'm thinking. But look, it can change quickly. Everyone's
Forest to have that big of a drop off, though, mate.
I think they will. I think they'll get top 6. I think they will get top.
When's this drop off coming, though, Potts? We said it in October. We said it in November. We've done this a few times, though. If you think back, though, we've done it before. They all do. We did it with West Ham. They dropped out. They were 4th until March. They dropped off.
and they went down to 6th, 7th, and then won the Conference League by that 7th place. So we've done this with a couple of people. Go on, Pete. Go on.
I was going to say, obviously we did have a Chelsea rep on because they're playing tonight. But for me, I think it's going to be the likes of Villa. It's going to be the likes of us, Chelsea, and Man City, kind of fighting out for 4th, 5th, 6th in that sort of position. I genuinely do.
You think the top three is done? You think Arsenal, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Forest is top 3?
I think Forest will definitely finish top 4. I think it would have to be a monumental drop off, either a number of losses or just absolute a huge amount of draws that could change that. They're just playing so well, and you don't see them dropping off. They're playing against different types of teams, and they're finding a way of winning against lots of different styles. I just think they feel like we did 2 years ago, Pots. You know, when you're just on that run, it doesn't matter who you're playing against, you'll find a way of winning regardless. You'll beat the easy teams and put them aside, and then you're finding a way of winning away from home. It seems like
imagine though you have Newcastle in the Champions League, then Villa the next year, and then you have now Forest. Mate, that would be amazing, to be fair. So they've met that many top 4 clubs. I love it. It's great to see. Listen, I don't think Arsenal are going to win the league. If you said to me, who do you want to win the league? I'm obviously going to pick Nottingham Forest ahead of Liverpool, right? But I think Liverpool, for the record, will do it, right? Sorry, Errol. But I will go for Forest because it's just an unbelievable story. Like the Leicester. It does feel like, I'll say this, before I come to Errol to close, it does feel like a Leicester City season. Everyone's rubbish. And there's only one team at the moment in Liverpool, like Tottenham were, and then there was Leicester, and everyone went, it ain't going to be Leicester. Right now, it's one team, Liverpool have won it, and there's Forest. Can they do the unthinkable? Errol, how much chest have you got, bro? You must have loads when you're shaking your head like this. So Liverpool obviously going to win the league, mate.
No, I'm just gutted that you wouldn't even prop me up and be like, yeah, Liverpool deserve it after the season they've had.
I gave you no chance. You do deserve it at the moment. At the moment, you deserve it. But I want
20th of January. 20th of January, Errol. Is the chest ready? Is that chest ready? 20th of January, 21:13.
Bro, I've told you, you aren't going to get me to change. Like, you can think what you want, and that's great for you. I am happy with what I'm seeing. Do you know the adulation I felt when Nunes got that dagger in the 91st minute the other day? That's what title races are about, bro. Because even the Arsenal players even said, we was watching it. We was watching at 3 o'clock. We seen that go in. Do you know how much of a deflator that's got to be? So
I was in the pub, Errol, right? There was no TV in the pub that I was in that had the game on. So I was just about to leave to go to stadium, and my mate went, it's 90 minutes. It's 0-0. I went, that'll be 2-0, bruv. I know I didn't actually lie. I said that'll be 1-0 last minute. Anyway, I got into the concourse and I said, he went, no, it weren't 1-0. I went, you're joking. He went, it was 2. I was like, there we go. I just knew it. I just knew it was going to happen, man. Now, watch Liverpool at the moment. They look calm. They look composed. They don't panic. And Slot, big ups to him. I said this on Said's channel earlier. He has got so much out of the players that needed to get the best out of them in terms of, I think you might have even said it on here a few months ago and said if he can get 20% out of XYZ, we might have a chance.
In the first show of the season, Potts. I said it in the first show of the season. But Dan, I didn't say it just because that was like a hope. It just seen it because I've seen FSG's story before. It was how can you go out of your way to have a manager as an acquisition and not give him any funds to go and how does that
feel? How does that feel? Oh, hang on a minute. I'm going through it fucking now, mate.
No, I know you're on that now, but you're in the middle of a season. I'm talking when the manager's got the chance to build from the summer onwards. You get him one signing towards deadline day in a Chiesa that hadn't played or had a pre-season or anything like that. It was purely because he wasn't a manager, he was a head coach. So his job was to come in and try and get something more out of the squad that was already assembled. And
this is the question. Look at this for a question. Would Slot win the league if he went to Arsenal? What a question that is.
I don't know if you would. I think what LB said.
Good enough, or?
No, I think what LB said before about being a couple of players away. I don't think we was that far away last season. I just think there was too many external factors that kind of derailed Liverpool's season. And
external factor.
And maybe going a little bit early. But
hey, you could get quad father this year, though, brother. Imagine that.
I don't think we'll be quad father this year, but yeah, I'm here for it. Don't get it twisted. I'm here for it. You know what we're cooking at the minute, so that'd fit lovely.
Errol, you win the quad, mate. I will get quad father tattooed across my chest. I will get Errol is the quad father. I mean it. I'm that
Oh my God.
You've heard it here. Yo, you've
Just,
heard
just check with the
Yeah,
wife
man.
first, man. Just check with the wife first, mate.
I
Yeah,
know
you better
he
check. You
definitely
better
wouldn't.
check with wifey, man.
Yeah, I don't think Arteta would win it
There
at
is
Liverpool
no chance.
either.
Nah, I was gonna say Hannah Arteta wouldn't. He can't get across the line at the moment. So no, I don't think he would.
But yeah,
Errol,
as
can I
far
ask
as
you a question?
Liverpool are concerned, go on.
Can I ask you a question? Obviously, the good vibes are flowing, and I don't want to bring up the bloody contract stuff because we've talked about it over and over again. But with all the good vibes you got now, do you have one eye on what happens next season? Do you have one eye on what potential players you could bring in and what will happen with the players you got?
And you know why? Because again, go back to what I said to you in the summer. This year is not a free hit, but I'm here for the ride. And until the ride stops at the end of the season, and I have to get off and process and let all the emotions flow through my body and the adrenaline dip, I won't think about it until then. Just because as football fans, we don't get to do that a lot anymore. Everybody's always looking to the next or always wanting the next shiny toy or do you want to know what's going on in the next season of AFTV or Arsenal or like I want to know what we're doing in the here and now and I want to be in the moment as a fan. And I think, and again, I'm not speaking for all fans, but I think sometimes when I look at Liverpool fans, we can forget about being in the moment. And to me, that's what I'm cherishing at the minute, just going on and seeing some highs. And as I say, that Nunes dagger, mate. I was sat with Sammy Lee, Liverpool legend, sat with Sammy Lee, watching it, and I was like doing something I've never done before. Do you get me? Like it was a completely new experience for me, and I'm thinking, oh, imagine the first time I'm in this setup with a Liverpool legend, and we don't get it over the line. Like I'll be kind of a little bit gutted because this is meant to feel like a moment for me doing what I'm doing, and then the next.
I'm trying not to dampen you. It's great that you're living in the moment. I just hope the guys in the background aren't living in the moment.
I've got to trust that they are. I've got to trust that.
That's rich coming from our club. I'm saying it from experience, mate.
But bro, you've hit the nail on the head. That's they get paid to do that as their job. My job as a fan is to be a fan first and foremost. So being in that moment, and that's what Dan Potter's being robbed of at the minute, because he should be living in the moment thinking, do you know what? It might not be looking all rosy, but we should be at least capable of challenging and we'll see what happens. But because Dan's seeing this story on rinse and repeat season after season, he doesn't need to live in the moment because he can just relive last year or the year before or the year before that. So it's very difficult. But when my club has taken me and had these moments and we've had ups and downs because we've been let down on the last day of the season or we've been that close from being the quad father in the past, I know that the beauty of being able to just enjoy the moment. And that's why I set my stall out early this season and I've not gone off and been on any side quests or anything like that. As a fan, my job is to back the boys, and when they're on that pitch, Nunes included, I will bat for them every single time.
Do you know what I like about Slot? And I hate Liverpool. I want Liverpool to lose at bingo. I hate them that much. But what I liked about Slot was he was interviewed I think it was last month or the month before. And they said, you've gone through the tough fixtures. Now you've got the easy fixtures. How do you feel? Do you feel confident? And he turned around. He said, ever since I've come here from day one, everyone's told me there's no easy fixture in the Premier League. I like the fact that a manager gets that. He's come in. He's done his homework. This guy's obviously wanted to manage in the Premier League for a long time. So I think you've got a guy there that's assertive in his beliefs of where he wants to be. And I think that spells positivity as a Liverpool fan. Dare I say, I'm a tiny bit jealous.
Listen, I think everyone looks at Liverpool right now and gets a little bit like that because what's happening there is pretty phenomenal. They've got to get across the line. They've got to win silverware this season, 100%. In my opinion. Now they 100%. Can't get into that position.
We put ourselves in pole position. It's got to be done. It's got to be.
You've got to do this league. If you lose this league, it will be catastrophe, in my opinion. Now, so everyone looks pretty dodgy. Look, to close, let's close with this. Assuming fifth gets Champions League. What we saying for our top five? We did do predictions. I'm not going to bring them up because it's embarrassing for all of us, if I'm honest. But what we saying right now in top five? I think what I'm saying, I'm going to go Liverpool to win it, Arsenal, City in third, and I'll go Chelsea fourth, Newcastle fifth. That's what I'll do.
I'll go that Liverpool will be in the top five. I think.
Errol, that's just muting.
I still think Arsenal will probably finish second. I think Forest will finish fifth, I think it's going to be Newcastle and City at this particular moment. I think Chelsea will miss out.
Okay.
What, to get Champions League?
I think Chelsea will miss out, yeah.
So
Do you
they'll
think
come
there's a
sixth.
City will
I think
finish
they're just
in
going
the
to be
top
too
four?
inconsistent between now and the end of the season.
You think Newcastle and City will get top four?
Top, yeah, potentially, yeah.
Okay.
Go on in, Pete.
I hope you're right. Jesus. Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, City, and then I back my boys. I back my boys in fifth.
Fair play. Dan?
Liverpool, City second, Arsenal third, Forest fourth, and Chelsea fifth. I think City's resurgence has started. I'm not saying they're out of the woods, but they're making the signings. And Pep
They've got a
always
tough run. No, to be fair, actually, they've got a tough run because they've got Newcastle, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Liverpool, Chelsea, and somebody else in the
Spurs.
next Spurs in the next
They got us
six.
as well. Who's that?
Man United, Man City.
Man City.
Yeah, they got us as well. They got us as well, haven't they? But I still think I think they'll do it. I think they'll do it just mainly for the fact that they're 6 points behind, and they've had the worst. They've had the worst run. Was it 1 in 11? And they're still 6 points behind. I can see it. I think they'll finish second. I don't think they'll challenge you guys. I don't think they'll push you. But look, mate. I honestly think Liverpool will have this sewn up end of March. I really do. I think it'll be done.
Inshallah, my brother. Inshallah, let's go.
If City end up winning this league, right? We might as well pack up.
City can't win the league from here, bro. They're like 18 points behind us, even in the season.
12, isn't they? And they 12. Is it 12 points?
Nah, oh no, because they might have won. Yeah, it might be about.
It's 12. It's 12, but you can make it 15.
Yeah,
if you win against Everton, it's 15.
So,
yeah.
No, they ain't coming back.
Chelsea have just gone 2-1 up, by the way.
Yeah.
Right,
it's a wrap.
It is, and that's going to be a wrap for us. Listen, before we do, wrap up. Suj, big up to you for the super chat, man. Big up down the panel and the community. Hit the like and subscribe. Have you got your tickets to the meet and greet star lineup at the meeting? Please make sure that you've done that, people. Make sure you scan the QR code or click on the link in the pinned comment section or the description. We've got This Is London live on Friday, so please make sure you get your tickets. Top left is the QR code to scan. Otherwise, follow the link in the description. You've got an elite part lineup there. So please make sure you come meet and greet and have a good night with us, man. Look, big up to Errol. Make sure you can follow Errol what his new Twitter handle, which is Errol0151 AK Dargoat. Make sure you follow.
That's just for this. But
I'm joking. Errol0151. Make sure you do that. Make sure you follow Dan at United first, and make sure you're following Pete on Twitter, social media, and of course, Loaded Mag and UFC on YouTube. This is going to redirect you to League Judges, where myself and him are going to be at 10 o'clock tonight, talking about Arsenal's transfers. It's a 2-minute show because nothing's happening. No, I'm joking, of course. So please make sure that you come and have a listen to us both ranting. And we'll see you next time, people. We're out of here. Big up.
Bless.